Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
And welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-727-PECK. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. It's Thomas Jefferson Day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he would have been...
Oh, my gosh, man. Don't do this to me.
175-ish to 300.
He was born in 1743. So he'd be pushing 280, right? He'd be about 278, right? Keith math, check it. But today's canceled, right?
He'd be old. If he was still alive today, he'd be really, really old.
Yeah.
But happy birthday, Thomas Jefferson. One of my favorite founders. Maybe my favorite founder.
Really?
He and George Washington.
I was going to say, did he pass old George?
Nah, it's pretty close. But
yeah.
I love them both.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
So I'm sure they'll cancel today because, evil white slave owner, rich.
So go back to bed.
Yeah. Today's been canceled. All right. Speaking of canceling and the kind of culture that we're involved with now, we didn't get to this yesterday, but the co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement, Patrisse Cullors, bought a nice little home in Malibu. Yeah.
Is that the hood?
Yeah.
Malibu?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I'm not familiar.
It's next to a place that's 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 next to a place.
Okay.
And so on for about 60 miles. That's the hood.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit removed from the hood.
Wow.
But not much, as you can see.
Sure is a nice...
$1.4 million in a mostly white neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm sorry, this is the Marxist? We're Marxists?
Huh. I mean...
This is her.
We are trained Marxists.
I'm sorry, what?
Are trained Marxists. We
are
trained Marxists.
Are trained Marxists.
A nice backyard.
But that don't mean we don't want to live good. They want to live well, these trained Marxists. And they're doing it.
Now,
so good for them.
Our BLM protests planned for around the nation.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
like last night they shut down the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City, but they do have something planned for L.A. You think they'll be marching through her neighborhood?
No, again, it's next to a place, it's next to a place, it's next to a place, and so on. That they'll be marching in.
It's not like she said, yeah, just I'll join the crowd when you march by my house out here in Malibu.
Right. I mean, that's ridiculous. The hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't begrudge anybody their nice home unless they preach Marxism to the rest of us. And all of this privilege crap and the fact that rich people are evil. And by the way, where's she getting her money? Where are you getting $1.4 million as the co-founder of BLM?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
That's donations from guilt-ridden white people.
Yeah. That's going to her and her brand new home in Topanga Canyon. Jeez. Home to Hollywood actors and musicians. Why? Because rich people live there, and mostly white people live there. That's a long way removed from, let's say, South Central Los Angeles. Watts.
But it's next to it.
Well, next to a place is next to a place.
Oh, got it.
It's next.
Okay. Yeah.
To a place. I mean, it's about a quarter of an acre. Keep in mind, this is California. So
right.
1.4 million doesn't go as far as it does in Texas.
That is a good point. She may very well be in the hood.
Yeah. It's 2,400 square feet, which is good size for California. You know, because it's dang expensive. It has 3 bedrooms, 2-bath main house, and a separate 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment capable of hosting guests. Oh, well, that's nice. Huh. Yeah. So I wonder if all the people that she's fighting so hard for appreciate the fact that she's skimming off enough to be able to buy a $1.4 million home. That is nice.
Yeah.
By the way, it was revealed in February that BLM raked in $90 million.
Oh, there you go.
In 2020.
See,
$90 million.
So she's saving the other 89 million for the cause.
Right.
Yeah, she's getting some blowback from her own people there.
Man. So an independent investigation has been called for. Hawk Newsom, the head of Black Lives Matter Greater New York City, called for an investigation, independent investigation into how the global network spends its money.
There it is.
Oh my. Oh my.
I'm sure that'll learn her.
Well, in fact, according to this article, she's gone on a real estate buying binge.
Oh.
She's purchased 4 high-end homes?
Oh, so she hasn't saved the other $89 million for the cause?
No.
Okay.
She's actually spent $3.2 million in homes. Wow.
Well, then.
Wow. As protests going on all over the country, she has gone on a real estate buying binge, snagging 4 high-end homes for $3.2 million in the U.S. She's 37. She's also eyeing a property in the Bahamas at an ultra-exclusive resort where Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods both have homes. Why not? Yeah, that's fine. Luxury apartments and townhomes at the beachfront Albany Resort outside Nassau are priced between $5 and $20 million. Okay.
I mean,
all right.
Got to be able to stretch out, right?
That is she's got 4 homes. She's considering buying a 5th.
Just talking about the one in Georgia where she's
Bahamas.
Got the runway and the airplane hangar.
Let's see.
You know, the state that we need to boycott, Georgia.
Yeah. Last year, Colors and spouse Janiyah Khan ventured to Georgia to acquire a 4th home. A 4th home!
Well, that's okay. Look, if Jeffy's here, right, he'd say, well, the other 3 don't have an airport. Gotta have a hangar.
First of all,
runway.
First of all, who among us doesn't have 4 homes? So she bought a custom ranch on 3.2 acres in Conyers, featuring a private airplane hangar with a studio apartment above it and the use of a 2,500-foot paved grass community runway that can accommodate small airplanes. Does she have a small airplane? She have a private jet?
Well, if she got $90 million from guilt-ridden whites, she'll have one soon.
Yeah, not for her.
Mm-hmm. Wink, wink.
Wow, that is something else.
Meanwhile, cities, as we speak, are being burned to the ground.
Right.
In the name of BLM. And she is living in luxury all over the globe, quite frankly.
So literally. I mean, 4 homes in the U.S. alone, looking at a 5th home in the Bahamas, and you can't even get into that neighborhood for less than $5 million.
But how is that?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that's a short runway, though. Let's be honest.
Well, yes, it is.
And 3.2 acres and you have a runway on it?
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to be looking for
enough.
More property soon.
Yeah, you got to buy some more property there. And you want it paved. You don't want it paved grass. You want it nicely paved over. You want an asphalt runway. And you want it to accommodate at least a G5.
Right.
G550 maybe.
You want your own air traffic control tower.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And your airport sucks if the runways don't cross. That's not really a real airport.
Right.
And
yeah, what if you got some friends coming in? You know?
And for the record, as someone who grew up in Metro Atlanta, the fact that she bought this in Conyers, oof.
Is that not a good area?
Now, why isn't she up in Alpharetta or up north or something? I don't know why she's. So she is slumming it. Let's be honest. Sorry, Conyers. Rio Linda of Atlanta.
Is it?
No.
It's not that bad.
No, that's Smyrna. Yeah, it's not a high end like area. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she is obviously
she's slumming it.
She's slumming it. She's one
in
of
the Atlanta area,
mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in the Los Angeles area.
No,
I mean that's amazing. That is amazing. That as she's running around preaching Marxism and the destruction of America, she is living high on the hog with 4 separate homes around the country. And then maybe the one in the Bahamas. Jeez.
What percentage of people and corporations that donated to this? Actually, the corporations don't care. That's just a wink and a nod so that they don't get burned to the ground. But the people that donated to this are ever going to hear about this. Going to hear about these mansions.
They never do for some reason. I mean, they're caught up in their own little echo chamber, and they never actually hear the truth. It is stunning. I've said before, I'll never forget when my daughter was going to school. And she was going to BYU, by the way. But she and all her friends were completely into Barack Obama in 2008. And when she came home for the summer, and it was right before the election, I sat her down and shared with her the actual news of all the things that Barack Obama has said and done and stood for. She hadn't heard any of it. Right. None. Zero. So that's what happens. You know, they get caught up in their own world and they don't even hear the truth. There's a lot of people who just live in their own little world, their own little liberal echo chamber, and they don't ever get this stuff. Who's going to donate to Black Lives Matter when they know that the Marxist co-founder is buying up homes all over the country and all over the world? Using that money that is being donated because somebody believed in your cause, and she's just enriching herself. The hypocrisy is just amazing. It's
gross.
But the fact that you can get other people, millions of people, to go along with it is even more amazing, maybe. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. And then we get to all the fun with the protests of the Masters in Georgia. Dozens.
Yeah, that was
dozens protested
big turnout there.
Were there any of these Black Lives Matter people? Was Patrice Cullors there?
No, she was airplane shopping.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
You got to decorate a hangar. You don't want it sitting empty.
They were incorporated in 2017, claimed to have chapters throughout, and a mission to eradicate white supremacy and build power to intervene in violence.
So BLM did put this together.
This was BLM's.
Wow.
This was BLM's
deal. That was
deal.
a big turnout there, BLM.
Now, I don't think Patrice was actually there, but her group definitely was.
She was airplane shopping.
Right.
It's a weekend.
Right. She's busy.
Masters
she's busy. So the Masters went off, though, without a hitch, pretty much. And by the way, didn't an Asian guy, from Japan, won it.
Yeah, he almost, boy, he led wire to wire.
Yeah.
And he almost blew it at the very end. I mean, it was a one-stroke win.
Did he?
But, yeah,
he hung on, though. Really, yeah. So good for him. I'm not much of a Masters fan, especially if Tiger's not in it.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pay any attention to it, but man, you better move that golf tournament because, the racism. I needn't tell you the racism. That new law in Georgia that calls for killing all black people.
Wait a minute.
What?
I think we might find some common ground here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the law calls for killing.
Well, you would think so. You would
Georgia
think that's what it calls for.
Then this can't stand. Nobody should do business there. No sports events. Nothing.
Yeah. Right.
That is evil.
Right. And Coke they've got a leg to stand on when the law is that bad. So no, it does not call for any of that. And it's actually, it's about the middle of the country as far as restrictions are concerned for cleaning up the voting polls.
Right.
It's barely even a problem for anyone. All they want to do is make sure that you're who you say you are. Why is that so dastardly? I mean, shouldn't you at least have to show that when you come to vote?
No, because then it's more difficult to steal that state.
Well, and that's the thing. That's exactly
There's a lot of electoral votes at stake there in Georgia.
Man. And by the way, the Georgians, like Stacey Abrams, are saying, hey, please don't boycott us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Whoopsies. Oopsie daisies.
Oh.
Leaving us behind, she said, with boycotts won't save us. I ask you to bring your business to Georgia, and if you're already here, stay and fight.
Okay, Stace.
It's great. and Ossoff, the new senator.
Okay, what is he saying?
I absolutely oppose and reject any notion of boycotting Georgia.
Oh, do you now?
The other senator that was just elected, Warlock, waffled, but put out a statement saying, it is my hope that businesses, athletes, and entertainers can protest this law, not by leaving Georgia, but by coming here and fighting voter suppression head on and hand in hand with the community.
No, you douches made this bed.
Now they're laying in it.
Yeah. And you're going to own it, hopefully, the next election cycle.
Oh, I hope so. Please, yes.
I want that to be topic number 1 at the polls.
But jumping in on the bandwagon, Will Smith is moving his new film, the production of his new movie, out of Georgia over the election law. They'll probably never be the same as a result. I'll bet the state just folds. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? They just fold. And Atlanta and the rest of the towns I don't know the name of in Georgia, all leave. Take their buildings with them.
I could annoy you and run through a whole bunch of them, but I'll choose not to.
I could actually, if I put my mind to it, probably name a few. But
okay, what town was the Masters played in?
Augusta.
See? Look at that.
Augusta, Georgia.
Good job.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. I mean,
it is. I'm so tired of these bandwagon celebrities.
And Will Smith's quotes about why they're moving. I mean, good. You're taking all of these. Think of all the production and crew associated and all those blue votes that Democrats are counting on to win these tight elections.
Yep.
Oh, no, they're leaving the state? Oh, no.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh.
He said, at this moment in time, the nation is coming to terms with its history and is attempting to eliminate vestiges of institutional racism to achieve true racial justice. We cannot, in good conscience, provide economic support to a government that enacts regressive voting laws that are designed to restrict voter access.
Okay.
Has this guy even looked at the stupid law?
Has anybody looked at the stupid law?
Hard to believe they have, with the stupid, mind-numbingly moronic things they're saying about it. The new Georgia voting laws are reminiscent of voting impediments that were passed at the end of Reconstruction to prevent many Americans from voting. Are they reminiscent of Reconstruction?
And just a history lesson there for Mr. Will Smith, who was eliminating the rights of blacks to participate in elections after Reconstruction. Those would be Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay, because some of the first black politicians to be elected to D.C. were black Republicans during Reconstruction from the South. And then as soon as they made the deal, blah, 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 the 1876. Anyway, that's when the Democrats clamped down on the South and blacks. And we had a century of Jim Crow and racism and all sorts of fun stuff.
It has always been thus. That's my powerful statement to what you just said. It has always been thus.
I think that's
It's always been that the Democrats are the racists.
Yeah.
And the Republicans have been the ones fighting for freedom from the very beginning.
Yeah.
It was that way from the start of this country. It's that way now. And somehow they've twisted perception completely 180. And it's really incredible that they've been able to maintain that for so long.
It's truly stunning. I would say global warming, COVID-19, and Democrats having power over the black vote are three of the most amazing things in this nation's history to
Inexplicable.
behold. Yeah.
Inexplicable.
You keep using the word.
Yeah, twice.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, you might be right. Also, some Georgia GOP legislators want Coke products removed from their offices. So kind of a GOP boycott.
Yeah.
Group of state legislators in Georgia are seeking removal of Coke products from their offices after the company's CEO criticized the state's recently passed. Why are they still in the state? Why haven't they picked up and moved?
I don't understand. Seriously, you hate it so much.
They're based in Atlanta, Georgia. Did you see the Georgia part of where you are, Coke? Yeah, that's where they passed that horrifying law. Legislators signed on to a letter dated Saturday and addressed to Kevin Perry, who serves as president and CEO of the Georgia Beverage Association. They've got a Georgia Beverage Association?
Oh, yeah. Membership, the waiting list is ridiculous.
Is it?
Oh,
everybody wants in, huh?
Uh-huh. I know a guy who's been 12 years, been waiting for that call, that phone to ring.
Wow, really?
His number's changed. He thinks maybe they just don't have his new number, but I'm thinking, no, buddy, it's that popular of a place.
Huh.
The Georgia Beverage Association place.
Anyway, the legislators were knocking the company for caving into what they called cancel culture, and that's what it is. And Coke is so unbelievably woke that they're just willing to do absolutely anything to bend to the libs.
I love it. These Georgia companies, Coca-Cola, Delta, these Georgia politicians, Ossoff, Warnock, Abrams, these are unforced errors. These are self-inflicted wounds to your state.
That's why it almost feels good that they're in Georgia, except it's affecting, all the good people too. Sure. So it really sucks. And they don't deserve this because it's such a ridiculous claim. An ID, please. Voting hours expanded, and they act like we've taken away every opportunity for anyone to vote, except for the white people. Somehow the white people can accommodate anything that's thrown at them, but the minorities just can't seem to overcome anything.
I mean, that right there is such a slap in the face. I mean, just when you
such racism.
Right. When you take 5 seconds and think, wait, what are they insinuating about minorities?
Right. Wait. Okay, so whites can get to the polls on time to vote during this 19-day early voting period, plus election day, of course. But blacks can't, Hispanics can't, Native Americans can't, Asians can't. Only whites are so clever and so flexible in their schedules that they can get to the polls anytime. You can put whatever restrictions you want. Plus, they've got so much ID. They've got 80 forms of ID on them at all times. It's racism. It's so racist. It's really hard to believe. And they continue to get away with it. They continue to insult minorities of every color and description. And the minorities just continue to take it. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Oh, you bet you can. Yeah, and you will. They're going to slap you again.
Thankfully, not all of them. There are quite a few. And Trump really woke up a lot in the black community that I think that...
I think there's starting. Mm-hmm. I think that's starting. Sure hope so.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm looking forward to our guest coming up next hour, Doni Anthony. She's a black woman from Arlington here in the Texas, Dallas Metroplex here.
Mm-hmm. Some would call that the DFW.
DFW, you're right. Mm-hmm. She's a big-time constitutionalist. I love her. She's awesome. She's the one that got our attention when the audience made us aware of her ad that said, "We are not a democracy." Oh, and there it is. Okay. Well,
and that's all it said.
Yeah, that's it. There's your ad. And they were like, "You've got to have this woman on your show."
We are not a democracy. I love that. I love that. So she's going to be here in about an hour. We'll talk to her about her candidacy for mayor of Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, if you're losing your hair, if it's getting thinner and you just keep seeing more hair in the sink or in the drain after you've washed your hair, oh, good golly. Just, it hurts. It sucks. There is something you could do now. It's 2021 now. You don't have to just sit and watch it happen. What you can do is go to keeps.com/Pat and get the hair loss treatment there. They offer the generic versions, which right off the bat saves you about half the cost because it's not the generic or it's not the name brand, but it offers you the same ingredients and it does the same thing for about half the price. Plus, you just go online. It's really convenient. You don't have to go to your doctor. You don't have to go to a pharmacy. You just go online, answer some questions at keeps.com/Pat. Take a few pictures of your hair and post those. And then a licensed doctor will review all that info and then recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. About 90% of the time, it'll stop the hair loss. And for about 2/3 of men, they see hair regrowth. It is awesome that you don't have to just put up with it anymore. To get you started, we've got a special deal. When you go to keeps.com/Pat, you'll get 50% off your first order. Keeps hair loss treatment, 50% off at keeps.com/Pat.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Got a little cackle-off that I thought we'd try today. 888-900-3393 is the number to call. I want to know whose cackle is the more annoying, the Kamala cackle or the Clinton cackle.
Man,
you be the judge. It's gonna be tough to decide.
Do we have examples, or
but we do have examples?
Okay, I didn't know if we had to go from memory.
Would be Kamala, Clinton, Kamala, Clinton.
Oh no! Ladies and gentlemen, you just got a sneak preview of what hell sounds like.
That's right. So you better change your evil ways right now, baby.
I wasn't ready for that.
So great. All right, you be the judge. Is it the Kamala cackle or is it the Hillary cackle? I don't know. That's really tough, isn't it? I don't want to taint anybody.
Right.
So I'm going to leave my opinion out of this right now. 888-727. No, 888-900-3393. Sorry, I've been doing Glenn's show too many times. 888-900-3393. And at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Whew. Love to hear your thoughts on which cackle is more like the fingernails down a chalkboard to you.
Boy,
that is a tough one, isn't it?
They are close.
They are. I love it. I love it.
I have a vote, but like you, I won't.
Yeah, don't share it yet.
I've decided.
Maybe afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But they are both. I mean, they're very similar, aren't they?
Oh yeah, that's what's
very similar.
That's spooky.
It's like they both went to cackle school and majored in cackling, and came out. I mean, they graduated with honors, obviously. PhDs in cackle. So I'm really proud of them, and their families must be proud.
I got my doctorate in cackling. Oh, me too.
Wow. What was that?
You know what? That's a low level of hell, actually.
Yeah.
Where those
it's
sounds
like South hell
are reverberating.
Yeah, you're in South hell when that's happening to you.
Ooh.
You've done some really terrible things. Terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
888-900-3393. Here's something great from Joe Biden. And this is something that maybe you didn't know, but 19 million jobs are about to be created. Here's what he says.
Independent analysis shows that if we pass this plan,
the
economy will create 19 million jobs. Good jobs, blue-collar jobs, jobs that pay well.
Pause it for a second. Good jobs, blue-collar jobs.
Wow.
So, wouldn't it be better if it was creating white-collar jobs that 19 million people could have? Aren't white-collar jobs more, don't they pay more money? A white-collar job is easier than a blue-collar job, right? I mean, isn't that what you would seek, is like a job where you get a really high salary? I don't know. Maybe everybody's after just working super hard, putting their back into things, and just eking out a living. Maybe that's what it is. We'll get into this, though, coming up in a few minutes. The 19 million job claim.
That's a lot of jobs.
That's a lot of jobs. We'll dissect that and tell you just how good it really is. Coming up in a minute here on Pat Gray Unleashed. And I return with our friend Glenn Beck, who joins us in the studio this morning.
Hey.
Looking incredibly sunburned. So while you were back east, did you...
A lot of standing outside.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, you go into places and they're like, you got to wait outside. There's 3 people in this store. I'm like, I know.
No. What kind of death trap are you running here?
I know. It's a Walmart. God forbid you have 4 in here.
Is it still pretty bad?
Oh, my
in
gosh.
Connecticut?
It is.
The restrictions.
They are crazy. Crazy. It is a different world. I walked into a store. I had to buy a black tie and I think this shirt. And I walk into a store, and I walk in with my son and my son-in-law. We walk in, and the guy, there's 3 of us, and he's like, can I help you? We're invading the store. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking. He's got to get a tie. I got to get a tie. Okay. And I'm not making this up or exaggerating. Okay. Ties are over there. And what size shirt? Maybe I can go find it. It was like that the whole time.
Were you wearing masks?
Yeah.
And they were still like that?
Yeah, still like that. And then when he, I handed him the ties, he handed some of them back to me. He handed me the shirt. I handed it back to him. All of this stuff. Gave him my credit card. He gave it back to me. And then when he gave me the bag, I put my hand out and said, "Thank you very much." It was like I was coming at him with a knife. He backed up and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! We don't shake hands here." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, thank you."
Seriously,
Bizarre.
I bet
and
when you
it's
left, he probably Lysoled everything you touched.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. And we went
probably drank some bleach.
No, he wasn't a Trump supporter. Only Trump supporters do that. When we went to get some flowers, for the funeral. I'm standing there in the flower shop. Well, no, I'm standing in front of the flower shop. Not kidding you, at least a 3,000 square foot flower shop. Only one person is allowed at a time.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to stand outside.
You gotta be kidding me.
No. And I had to
stand. They're not even doing the 10% or 15%.
No. It was one person at a time in the store.
How are they still open?
I don't know.
Seriously,
I don't know.
When you talk to people from California or the Northeast and listen to experiences just like this, it's like they're on the other side of the Berlin Wall.
Oh, it is. It's a different world. They were this woman said because 2 of us tried to walk in. Whoa! We already have a customer. It's marked on the door. Only one customer at a time. And so when are you together? Yes. When it's your turn, only one of you can come in. Oh my, okay.
Wow.
So we wait outside. We're there for probably 30 minutes, thus the sunburn. Waiting out there for about 30 minutes. And finally, this lady comes out, and she's like, "This customer's taking a little longer. I'm so sorry. I could get you started out here if you know what you want." Now, we're not wearing masks outside. Yeah. It's windy. The wind is blowing in my face. The woman is about 6 feet away from me, okay? Wind at her back in my face.
Yeah.
And I could see she's completely distracted, and she just keeps staring, like at my neck because I had the thing at,
the mask
hanging off my ear,
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm sorry, do you need us to wear masks?" And she said, no, I'll just back up. Now, we were already, Pat, how far are we apart? 6 feet? 7 feet?
More than that, yeah.
Okay.
Probably about that.
She backs up another 2 feet. And so we're like, "So I would like some tulips." I mean, it was crazy. It's a different world.
Wow.
When we went to this restaurant, we did the wait.
Plus, you've had it. Maybe you should tell them that.
I did.
I've already had it.
I did. Didn't matter. Number one question, have you had your vaccine yet? Have you had your vaccine? I'm like, no, and I don't think I'm getting it. I'm the crazy man.
What's her name? Bridget, that you've had on several times. What was her tweet yesterday? Whenever you're asked that, just ask them, "I don't know, did you have your genital herpes shot yet?" I mean, seriously. I mean, it's none of your business.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So we went to the restaurant, and this restaurant was gracious, and they said, COVID restrictions, but, we can't do anything if, you're just crazy. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll probably be crazy. And so we get the whole family in. It's about 120 people. And we're greeting them at the door. And all of them were wearing a mask. And I'm not wearing a mask. And I'm like, it's a private dinner. It's a super spreader event. If you wanna not wear a mask, feel free. These were old people, okay? A lot of them had their shots already. Most of them already had their shots. And I said, but you don't have to wear a mask. Every single one but one in 120 people took off the masks. People were coming in after we stopped greeting them at the door. They were coming in late. One lady came up and she was wearing her mask and she's talking to me. And again, she's distracted as she's talking. And I see her looking all around the room. And I thought she was looking for somebody. I said, are you looking for? She's like, there's no one in here wearing a mask. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. If that makes you uncomfortable, you can keep your mask on. She's like, hell no. And she took her mask off.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're all just sheep.
And people are waiting for someone to take the lead and feel that safety in numbers.
So they can have that permission.
When she went into that room and saw, oh, I'm among friends. I don't have to put on the act anymore.
On the other hand, we had our open house at the kitchen over the weekend. A little over 300 people showed up. A whopping 2 had masks on. 2 people. Texas. That's it.
They think
nobody else had a mask on.
They think we are completely insane.
And yet our
down
numbers
here.
are plummeting.
I know.
Plummeting.
I know.
I mentioned yesterday, I talked to a really good friend who's a doctor at one of the prominent hospitals in Fort Worth. And in January, they had some kind of spike, and they had 295 COVID patients in the hospital. Right now, they have 20. It's not even a tenth of it's less
Well, it's still
than
not
one
safe to go
tenth.
outside.
Still not safe.
Still not safe to go outside.
Right.
We were at the funeral home and Fat Tony, the bouncer, he was like literally Fat. I don't know what his real name was, but he was like, "Hey, Fat Tony over here." So he's the bouncer, and he actually says to us, "Now there's 9 of us just in my family. We've been living together. We've been together."
Right.
And he's like, you guys can sit, there's 9 of you. You can sit in those 2 rows. Leave a row between you and leave your masks on. And I'm like, we traveled together. We've been with each other for weeks.
No reason to do that.
All right. You don't need the row between you, but keep your masks on.
Gotta be kidding.
Oh, my gosh.
But this is the
Nightmare.
mindset that has been in places like California
They're
and the
hypnotized.
Northeast forever.
They
it just took this to really overdrive it.
They have brainwashed.
And their numbers are terrible.
Yeah, they've brainwashed the people.
Yeah.
Brainwashed them.
It's been a decades-long process.
Yeah.
I mean, if the numbers were glaringly better when you're doing all of these restrictions, it'd be one thing. But their numbers are actually worse than ours are.
Yeah.
And we're wide open now, and they continue to skyrocket.
Oh, they think it's crazy that we're wide open.
I know.
I mean, the stories. Now, not any of my friends or family. They didn't think we were crazy. I mean, I talked to a lot of people who were just silently grinning and bearing it and then saying, you can't say anything around here, but this is nuts. I met so many people who said, I am moving to Florida or I'm moving to Texas because I can't take this anymore. Yeah. It's insane.
But I mean,
happening.
even the amusement parks, like I know Busch Gardens is requiring masks everywhere. Disney, masks everywhere. Oh, but you can lower it for picture taking. I mean, the big corporations are still on that far end.
Don't get me started with the big corporations.
Of the meeting of 100.
And you know what? Libertarians and conservatives, you better wake up. Everybody's like, well, they're private companies. They can do whatever they want. Not when they're setting up their own frickin' government.
Yeah.
Not when they are making the laws. Who elected the president of Pfizer to get involved in election stuff? When did anyone? This is. If they were so damn proud, because the Wall Street Journal reported these 100 CEOs that met on a Zoom call over the weekend to decide what's right and what's wrong for us. They said they're not going to take any bullying anymore. Bullying? Bullying?
They're not going to take it?
Are you kidding me? What the hell have you been doing? And you're not going to take the bullying anymore. I'm telling you, if conservatives and right-minded old-style liberals don't get up and stop and start boycotting these companies, they say we're not going to sit down. You know why? Because we've never boycotted. We've never boycotted.
Right.
If you don't boycott, these companies are going to control your world.
I think it's time.
Oh my gosh! I can't get Stu on that board.
I know he will. He'll never get on that bandwagon. I mean, but I'm there. I'm there.
Ask Montgomery, Alabama, and the bus boycott. I mean, that changed the world, did it not? That's an effective boycott.
Yeah.
For a very noble cause that ended up having repercussions.
And I've decided that we should, at least for me, I think what we should do is, like, I tried to boycott Coke. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, because they have everything. You know what I mean? You go to a restaurant, it's not like I don't want a Coke, I'll have a 7-Up. Sorry, they have Sprite, and that's a Coke product. Sorry, you want water? That's going to be DeSantis. I mean, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. I think we should pick a few, like just Coke and Sprite. Mm-hmm. Forget about the rest, or Coke and DeSantis. Dasani. Mm-hmm. And just pick those two and just boycott them. Send a message. We need to be able to make an impact.
Yes.
Yeah. One of your listeners, I don't know if they're going to have this come to fruition or not, but reached out to me last night after hearing your opening monologue yesterday. And they're trying to compile a list of all of those companies and make it just kind of a one-stop shop.
500.
Well, if they're so proud of, Wall Street Journal said, they're not going to be afraid anymore. They're going to stand. Oh, really? Then why can't I get a list of those 100 companies that were on the phone call?
Right.
Why aren't they proud enough to say, oh, yeah, we were on the phone call?
Yeah. And who's been bullying them, if anyone? Who's been yelling at big business? It's been the left. Yet that's who they're in bed with. It's maddening.
You remember the series Continuum, right?
Yeah.
It takes place in 2077 or something. And the government entity are large corporations. It seemed preposterous when that thing came out 10 years ago. We're already there.
Pat, do you remember the old logo that I used to hate? It was the American flag, and all the stars were corporations. Right. And I was like, oh, give it a rest.
I know.
That flag I would proudly fly right now as a protest.
Yeah.
Because we're there. Yeah. We are there.
Absolutely. I mean, they're just in bed together. Just completely in bed together. All right. Well, before you go, how's the family doing? How are you? How's Tanya doing?
Well, the kids probably won't eat until Saturday because I missed her mom this week
that's
too.
not good.
And it's like, I got the dog. I know the dog's eating because he can't do something else for themselves.
Right.
Tanya's still up there. The family is just
devastated.
And Tanya isn't really even... I don't think she's even dealt with it yet because of, she's taking care of her parents, and they're just,
can't imagine.
Just bad.
Yeah, that's hard.
And I mean, do you know, I asked Keith this before we went on the air, do you know anyone with 3 suicides in their family?
No.
Nope.
Other than you?
This is the third one.
I know.
I mean, I'd like to blame it on me and say, just remove me from the equation and everything's fine, but I don't know. And Tanya just said, I think this is the Lord saying you've got to get involved and do something. I don't know what.
Did anybody see it coming? Was he despondent at all?
No.
Wow.
He was the guy who made everybody else feel better. I think it's like, Dr. Heal Thyself. Yeah, I think he was the guy who made everybody else feel better. He served everybody else, but he could not accept someone else making him feel better or serving him. He couldn't ask for help.
You think it got worse? Anybody know? It did over the last year with the COVID and the shutdowns and the life changing the way it did?
Well, I was going to say, I didn't think anything, though we all have agreed that we didn't think anything had to do with COVID. But then I read today that the government will give you $9,000 if it's even suggested that your loved one might have died from COVID.
I just suggested it.
Right. And I believe it was all COVID.
That is incredible.
$9,000.
I hadn't heard that.
$9,000. So they're
if
actually
it's even suggested?
If it's suggested, and they will go back and they will add it to the death certificate. Doesn't even have to be, they will add it to the death certificate.
My gosh.
$9,000.
Wow.
they're doing everything they can just to jack these numbers.
Yeah, and to keep it going.
Yeah.
Because, as you pointed out many times, it was 15 days to flatten the curve. We're 393 days into that now, I think. 393 into 15.
Is that 15?
I'm trying to do the math.
Is that 15?
No, it's not 15.
So when we hit
is not.
15,
I don't know math.
maybe it was 1,500.
That could be.
Could be 1,500
Right.
days to flatten the curve.
Or 15,000, maybe.
Could have been.
Maybe we don't know.
Maybe it was 15. Did he say days, or was it just like 15 to flatten? It might have been 15 years.
We'll have to go back and listen more closely.
Yeah.
Yeah, first that, and then, okay, when we have a vaccine, things will get back to normal. Then you get the vaccine, and it's still vaccine and the mask and social distancing and all the same things. Just hold on for a little while. Yeah, we've been holding on for over a year now. We're pretty tired of it.
It makes no sense. Fauci, I saw this great thing from the Babylon Bee.
Why is his mic still on, by the way, Dr. Fauci? The 15 minutes are up.
I have no idea. But I saw the Babylon Bee had a picture of him, just his head in a jar, and it said, year 2721, Fauci says still too early to get back to normal.
Awesome.
I don't think that's far from reality.
I mean, the government crackdown and seizing power, never let a crisis go to waste, isn't that surprising. I mean, yes, it is now that we're living it. But what is so shocking is how many Americans, and you just talked about this, about being up in the Northeast, are willing to go right along with this and be the foot soldiers for
They
this.
effectively politicized it.
Yes, I mean, the masks, vaccines, I mean,
All of it.
are hyper.
Yeah, and it was about Donald Trump. Now it's about out of control Texas and Florida.
Yep. All right, we'll be listening for Glenn coming up in a little over an hour. Meantime, more Pat Gray Unleashed. We got the Biden 19 million job claim to get into. That's coming up. 888-933-93. Also got some tweets here at Pat Unleashed. Saves 84 tweets. All that hard work by Just to Muck and Fudge. And the guys force a bingo in the first 15 minutes of the show, meaning they packed 15 minutes of fun into 15 minutes.
Nice job.
Yeah?
We're able to do that.
And don't look for that to ever happen again.
So that was yesterday. We had bingo.
Yes.
But you can still keep playing. Got another gift to give away.
Very exciting. I'm all tingly just to think of it.
Didn't feel sincere at all when you said very exciting.
No, I am. Mary Beth tweets, maybe the infrastructure money is going toward replacing what BLM burns to the ground.
Oh.
Biden might be prophetic. That's one thing we haven't considered quite yet.
Yeah, I'm
he's
sure.
He's just foreseeing all of this stuff happening. B. DeBodine tweets, is the Georgia Beverages Association like the National Association of Realtors, in that I have to sell beverages to be a member of? Or can I just be a consumer of beverages? I may want to join if it's the latter.
Right.
I'll look into that. Okay. I don't really know the rules. The Steve 42, I'm going to get in the Georgia Beverage Association before Foreigner gets into the Hall of Fame.
Probably true. Oh, no, you made him sad, Steve.
Hateful. It's just hateful to remind me. Michael Siha Beelzebub.
Oh, no.
It's got to be said like...
Yeah, here we go.
Because this is, of course, mocking Al Sharpton.
Oh, yeah. Wait, that's accurate.
Whoa.
We're at a soccer match again.
Okay.
It's good.
There we go. It's a long way to the well now.
It's still worth it.
Michael Siha Beetlejuice. Michael Biha Beelzebub.
No.
Michael Ziha Beelzebub.
You know what sucks about that is that I have completely forgotten that guy's real name because of the Sharpton impersonation.
It was Ziha. No, I don't even. You're right. I don't remember either.
Hey, hold on. Parliament. It was in Ottawa, right? It was Parliament Hill shootings, and it was Michael Ziha Bibu Biba.
Bibo.
Bibo.
Yeah, it was Bibo.
Thank
Bibeau. Right? EAU. Yeah,
Beetlejuice. Yep.
Yes, Beetlejuice. Okay, so anyway, Michael Siha Beelzebub tweets, I fully support Will Smith moving production of his stupid movie to a blue state.
Good.
Where he'll pay double in taxes and production costs. That'll learn him in Georgia.
That's good.
Excellent point. From Gene Poole. As a Georgian, the entertainment industry leaving means I get my red state back. The California libs invaded ATL, changed the voting trends. Also, if the BLM leader isn't in Buckhead, she's just a poser.
That's right. What are you doing in Conyers?
Right.
I mean, you got $90 million to spend.
And she's a poser.
Poser.
Blur of stupid. Stop the Cackle-Off. My ears are bleeding.
Uh-oh. Oh,
What,
no.
are you talking about this Cackle-Off? Yeah, I like it.
Ouch.
That's going to be a classic.
Ouch.
You know, we'll burn that one to the ground.
Is it too soon for us to say who we think is the more annoying cackle? Too soon to do that?
No, go ahead. Who do you think?
I'm going to go with Kamala.
Are you?
Only because, well, Hillary's the OG there.
Right.
But Kamala, sometimes she wavers, you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of changes. It kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of floats a little bit.
It's so close. I'm going to go with Kamala, too, just because she's current, and we're going to be hearing this all the time.
Oh, good point. Yeah. It's like almost like Hillary's like the oldie station. You know, it's like, okay, I mean, we can leave it here.
Right.
But Kamala.
Because maybe what they're going to play next will be better. And we'll see.
Right.
Todd Curtis tweets, isn't it beautiful how the social democrats are all okay with greedy, wealthy capitalists and take up the job of influencing policy in our government? And Night Squat's point of personal privilege, can we please say they caught instead of boycott?
That's a good one.
I love it.
They caught. Need a they caught.
Point of personal privilege.
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Okay. So, yeah, they caught instead of boy. Watch them bring that up sometime soon. It's not even, you can't even do parody like this.
I know.
Anymore. We've talked about that.
I know.
Because it's going to happen. It will probably happen. Rod in New Hampshire. Hi, you're on the Blaze.
Yes, sir. Hold
Yep.
on a second, please.
Ooh, he put us on hold.
Sorry about that, gentlemen.
No problem.
No, I didn't want to be on speaker.
Yeah, good job. Good thinking.
Private call here.
Go ahead.
There we go.
So what's up?
Yeah. Glenn Beck talking about people. He was in New Jersey, correct?
He was in Connecticut, yeah.
Connecticut, okay. Yeah, I live up here in New Hampshire. Other than the schools and certain businesses require you to wear masks, we are 100% open. So you got somebody from Connecticut, New Jersey, New York. The first thing when they get out of the car to pump their gas, they put a mask on.
Oh, jeez. Outside with nobody really nobody else around. Yeah, it's asinine. It really is.
And us people up here in New Hampshire, if we're outside by ourselves or with our family or a group of 10, we don't wear any masks. You know, the out-of-staters, they are wearing masks outside, walking in the sun.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Rod. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like the people who drive around in the car alone wearing a mask. Are you getting it from the steering wheel?
Yeah.
Are you getting it from your air conditioning system? Are you giving it to yourself?
No.
Maybe you blow out and then suck it right back in.
No.
And then you give yourself COVID.
No, you don't know if the DJ you're listening to on the radio has COVID and it's coming through the speakers.
Okay. Well, that's a definite problem. We'll have to ask Fauci about that. I'm sure that he'll take both sides. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that can't. You know what we're finding? Yes, you can get it from your DJ on your favorite music station. Yes.
Oh no, Flap Jackson giving me the COVID. No, I love this. Someone tweeted out yesterday, it is official. I'm on another planet. I just drove by a suburban area. This is in New York. And saw local school kids with millions of parents and kids for team sports and soccer. Bunches of kids with multiple teams. Have they vaccinated kids? And I didn't know. And then some other guy from California then chimes in, same here in SoCal. It's unbelievable. Like, people lose their minds if their kids can't play sports ball. No masks in sight. Kids sitting in big groups during and after practice when I drive by, shaking my head. I mean, we are sharing the planet with these people who can't believe they're sharing the planet with us.
And we're both equally befuddled by the other. How do you ever come together with this? You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
They're just butt stupid, and there's really no cure for that, as far as I can see. Speaking of which, Joe Biden and his minions are claiming now that this bill, this upcoming $2.25 trillion bill,
okay.
And I just read an article that said this slightly over $2 trillion bill, slightly over $2 trillion, you're completely ignoring $225 billion in a $2.25 trillion bill. So we just discount $250 trillion, actually $250 trillion, just dismiss it out of hand now. Did I say trillion again?
Yeah.
Okay, it's $250 billion that we're just dismissing out of hand.
But I love it how they're just...
It's crazy.
It's slightly over...
Slightly?
$2 trillion! It's still $2 trillion!
Yes.
But it's only slightly over that.
And you're talking about $250 billion in money that you're just saying, yeah, that's not even worth mentioning. I mean, it's incredible. Anyway... Biden and everybody in the administration now claiming 19 million jobs are going to be created. Here he is.
Independent analysis shows that if we pass this plan, the economy will create 19 million jobs.
The economy
good jobs, blue-collar jobs.
Blue-collar jobs.
Jobs that pay well.
Jobs that climb on rocks.
That's long-term
jobs,
jobs,
sissy jobs.
Pipe fitters, healthcare workers.
Even jobs
those who work
pot.
in the steel factories and the cutting-edge labs as well. The new report out this week shows that nearly 90% of the infrastructure jobs created in the American Jobs Plan can be filled by people who don't have a college degree.
Oh, excellent. Good.
75% of those good-paying jobs don't need a associate's degree. It's a blue-collar blueprint for increasing the opportunity for people. This is an economic opportunity of those who have helped build the country and have been ignored or neglected for much too long by our government. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in our economic future, a chance to win the future, paid for by asking big corporations, many of which do not pay any taxes at all, just to begin to pay their fair share.
I can't.
Fair share time. 19 million? What? You're against 19 million jobs being created?
Yeah. This is all, he mentioned an independent study. It was a Moody's report that says that the economy all by itself is going to create 16 million of those jobs on its own. Without any help, without your bill, 16 million jobs would just naturally be created over the next 10 years or whatever it is. So the number of jobs this study by Moody's claims will be created additionally because of this bill is about 2.7 million, which is still, it's decent, but it's a far cry from 19 million.
Wait a minute.
So it's just a bunch of spin, again, as always.
How many jobs is Joe Biden eliminating through his stupid policies like day one Keystone Pipeline shutdown?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's already over 100,000. Will he even make up for that? I don't know. I doubt it. So when you add this up and you're spending $2.25 trillion, which again, the $250 billion, hardly even worth mentioning, $2 trillion, $250 billion bill, you're creating 2.7 million jobs. That works out to a price tag of $833,000 per job. That's pretty expensive. They're creating a job at the cost of $833,000 apiece. Is that worth it?
Wow.
Jeez.
And they're having to admit, that fact you just talked about with Moody's. I mean, Chris Wallace put Pete Buttigieg on the spot.
Yeah, let's watch this because Buttigieg is twisting in the wind here. I don't think he can believe that he was called out on this.
I want to give you another fact check. All of you in the Biden administration have been selling this plan as a huge jobs creator. Here you are just last Sunday.
The American Jobs Plan is about a generational investment. It's going to create 19 million jobs. And we're talking about economic growth that's going to go on for years and years.
Bald-faced lie, and they know it.
But it turns out the study you're citing from Moody's
look at
Analytics
that, same one.
says the economy will add 16.3 million jobs without the infrastructure bill and
exactly
2.7 million more with it. So it doesn't, as you said last Sunday, create 19 million jobs. Again, Secretary Buttigieg, why mislead folks?
Well, you're right. I should have been more precise. The 19 million jobs that will be created are more than the jobs that will be created if we don't do the plan. And it's very important to make this point.
Okay.
That is unbelievable. They know they lied.
Of course.
They're just lying, and they were hoping that the media would give them enough cover that they wouldn't have to actually explain it.
He's like, dang it, I was hoping I would get I hate Republicans Chris Wallace today, but I didn't.
No, I got the Chris Wallace who's actually being a journalist right now. Which is great.
Yeah.
But without the bill, 16.3 million jobs will be created. That is unbelievable that they just claimed all of it for themselves.
But again, how many jobs are being eliminated through Biden policies?
Does it make up for what has been crushed already? I don't know. Probably not. All right, let me tell you about iTarget Pro. A lot of state and local governments have used the coronavirus to trample on the constitutional rights of millions. We got the Biden executive orders that continue that. And at the same time, they're defunding law enforcement. Just as these mobs and criminals are roaming free, a lot of criminals have just been released from prison. Yeah, just go. We don't want you to get COVID. That's why iTarget Pro was invented, to give law-abiding citizens a cost-effective way to train in the safety and privacy of your own home with your firearm. So you get it in the mail, and it comes complete with the laser bullet and the target and everything you need to get started practicing at home. Now, the laser bullet replaces the actual bullet, which makes it really safe. So you're not shooting holes through your walls and things, endangering your family. It just shoots a laser, and that shows you where your shot lands on the target. Plus, it makes it completely safe, and your kids can do this, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a high-tech way to get proficient with your firearm. iTarget Pro. It comes in all major calibers, including .223 for AR-15 lovers. Like I had one, and of course, it's lost in that tragic boating
accident. That's a shame.
Darn shame. I miss it.
Yeah.
It was fun to shoot.
Should we go look for it sometime on the lake?
Nah, it's because I can't remember which one.
You just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Man, that's big of you.
Today, you can save 10% plus get free shipping when you use the offer code PAT at checkout. So go to itargetpro.com. Smartest way for you to practice. Pays for itself in like one day. Makes a great gift for your patriotic Valentine, too. Of course, Valentine's Day is pretty well over. But next Valentine's, you could buy it and then save it for next Valentine's.
Okay.
Memorial Day gift, a 4th of July gift, whatever.
There's a Flag Day coming up in here somewhere.
Is there?
In June, right?
And you know what else is coming? Earth Day.
Earth Day. Be here pretty soon. Yay.
What a wonderful Earth Day present. Okay, the letter I, then targetpro.com. itargetpro.com, offer code PAT. Yeah, because that could change at any time to like Mr. Parlay or Mr. Parlor, who parlays all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like Mr. Parlay or Mr. Parlor better. But there's also, isn't there something else? Gabby or no? It's
Gab.
Gab?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gab.
Mr. Gab.
Mr. Gab is possible. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, as he said, it's Mr. Twitter. 888 933 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I was just trying to remember where we were headed here.
We were talking about the jobs and all those millions of jobs were going to be created from Biden policies. And, Pete Buttigieg at the helm of that, the guy who has some thoughts about roads.
Yeah, and they got caught in their lie, which is so fantastic. Even the Washington Post, they only gave him 2 Pinocchios, but at least they admitted they were lying. They were just lying. And they weren't trying to, it's not like they didn't know what the Moody's report actually said. they did. So they were caught in a lie, and they finally admitted it. And also Pete Buttigieg, while talking about the 19 million jobs, was also talking about the transportation system in this country, which, as you know, is completely racist. I mean,
the interstate system was built to keep certain groups in and certain groups out. So it was built on a racist
so there you
system,
go.
Correct?
Yeah, often
Correct.
this wasn't just an act of neglect. Often this was a conscious choice. There is racism physically built into some of our highways. And that's why the jobs plan has dollars specifically committed to reconnect some of the communities that were divided by these dollars. So there's intention about that.
I mean, it even had a delayed effect on the studio audience. They're like, oh, wait, that was even funnier than I thought. Racism built into the highways.
Physically. He said physically
built in.
Where do you buy racism? Is that like on the shelf somewhere and you mix it in with the asphalt, or?
Yeah, if you buy it from a white person, obviously.
I see.
Yeah. And then what color are the stripes they're putting down the freeway?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're white, aren't they? They're white.
And if the blacktop is black,
you got the white on top of the black.
I don't want to see the black. Right. I'm going to paint white stripes on it. And yellow stripes too. Wow.
Thank you, Mayor Pete, for pointing that out. Racism is built into U.S. highways. Physically built into it. When are we going to have our fill of this stuff? How do you get away with this over and over and over? Wow.
Everything is racist.
Absolutely. Without exception.
I mean, I can't think of anything that's not, quite frankly.
No, you cannot. Speaking of racist, how about that DeSantis, Ron DeSantis in Florida? What a racist that guy is. You can not even listen to his words.
Right.
You can play him like here he is at the podium, talking, and look at his gestures.
What's
They're
he
all
doing?
racist gestures,
Really?
like his racist hero. Look at he is doing exactly the Donald Trump thing.
We wanted to play this game. A lot of your audience sent this to me last week, and they were like, "Okay,
look at that." He completely adopted his hand gestures.
This is subliminal. I'm your next Trump. That's what he said. Look at that. Look at that.
Go back to the beginning because that was so Trumpian right at the start. Here we go.
Okay.
Now watch this hand gesture thing. So Trump. Look at that.
Amazing.
And then this is another Trump move right there. Right there.
With the thumb, with the finger there. Oh, and then
this.
I'm telling you, dude is ready to be Trump in every way imaginable.
When he starts swooshing his hair the other direction over the top of his head, then he's taking it just a step too far.
I swear, if dude shows up at a podium wearing a red cap, we will know.
Wow.
We will know.
That is so clearly stolen directly from Donald Trump.
Now,
there's
Trump,
no doubt about that.
Now, if you're Trump, you could look at this in one of two ways. You could be flattered, or you could be, he's stealing my bit. He's stealing my deal there, you know?
I bet he's flattered.
Yeah. Especially because he and DeSantis are like this. So
yeah, they're close. And DeSantis has been, I mean, if you remember back during the campaign, DeSantis was almost worshiping at the altar of Donald Trump. I mean, he was really...
I think we made fun of one of his ads.
We did,
right?
because it was so...
over the top.
Trump.
Because remember, he was reading to his kid, and it was a story about Trump and all this stuff.
Yes.
And his kid was building a wall or something in the living room. And Yeah, and we were like, all right, we got it.
Come on, we get it. You're a Trump supporter.
But
got it.
Now that he's in power and during this COVID stuff, he's
been awesome.
He's a leader.
Yeah, he's been great.
And I think Trump would be more effective campaigning for someone like a DeSantis than to be out there taking the shots from the left as the nominee again.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty clear that Ron DeSantis is going to be a candidate
in
2024. And everybody wants him to run.
And everybody wants Trump's blessing.
Yep. And I think he would get it.
Looks like it.
Don't you think? Who else would there be? I don't think he'd get behind Cruz. even though Cruz has been a huge supporter.
Well, those quotes will come back to bite you.
Yeah, that's right. All right. We've got a candidate for mayor of Arlington, Texas, coming up next. Great to have you with us. We are joined by Doni Anthony, who is running for mayor of Arlington, Texas. Now, Arlington's where they have a lot of our DFW sports teams. The Cowboys are based in Arlington. The Rangers,
right?
We've got Six Flags in Arlington, so it's a bustling, happening kind of place. And Donnie, you came to our attention because our audience made us aware of you about was this a month ago when we saw this really simple ad on Twitter.
Look at that.
We are not a democracy. Donnie for mayor of Arlington, Texas.
Which is Pat Gray's mantra. I mean, that's how he goes through life.
I've been screaming about that for a long time. What made you do that for a commercial, for a political commercial?
Well, I keep seeing people talk about democracy all the time. Even Ted Cruz does it. I'm like, stop saying it. It's,
right.
In the commercials, everyone's doing it. So it's like a brainwashing mechanism, I think, so people can start thinking that we're democracy when we're not.
Yes! That's why it's so important to correct that. Because in fact, the way they use it is code for socialism. I mean, they're trying to make this a democratic socialist nation, and so that's their effort to get everybody used to it. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where do you come from? What caused you to run for mayor?
I'm from Indiana.
Okay.
I've been working since I was 16 years old. So the first time I got my first paycheck, I was excited until I opened it up, the paper ones. I'm 33 years old, so those are around. And so I went to my parents and I was really upset because it was a lot of money was taken out of it. And I said something was wrong. What happened? Like this is normal. This is taxes. So as I got older, I always paid attention to who was talking about spending more of my money. And so I tend to like people who weren't trying to spend my money. And I grew up in a kind of sheltered, so I wanted my freedom. So when I graduated and moved out, I'm thinking I have all this freedom, but then the government's trying to be my parents. So I always veered towards the rights of people who wanted to keep more of my rights and save more of my money. And I'm running because I've been watching the leadership for years, and I haven't seen anyone actually fight for our rights or actually did anything that wasn't scraping our rights away until Donald Trump came along. And then last year happened, the election was stolen, and I was like, well, I co-lead 2 different conservative groups. I went to rallies, I spoke at them, I helped people who are running for office, find people to knock doors, do donations. I did everything I thought I could do. And then when I looked at the people who are running for office, because I was trying to figure out what to do at the local level, none of them were going to do exactly what I wanted them to do. I didn't see anyone talk about Constitution. I didn't see anyone talk about our rights, any of those things. So I decided to run, but I looked at how much the mayor of Arlington, Texas made, $250 a month. $3,000 a year. So I almost was like, never mind. And I was getting a nudge in my head to look up the book of Esther. Long story short, she risked her life and saved her people. So I feel like it's definitely a calling that I need to do because
for you.
God wants me to do it. And I want to do it for the people.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Now, the race for mayor is kind of crowded right now, right? There's 6 or 7 candidates running in addition to you?
There were 8 total, and now there's 7. One of them had felonies, and
one of them had felonies?
Yeah.
What was the felony?
Oh no.
It was sexual assault, and I guess for kidnapping.
Sexual assault and kidnapping?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can't run for mayor if you've committed a sexual assault or a kidnapping? We're getting pretty picky, aren't we?
Right?
In our mayors? I mean, come on.
What do you want, people?
So he had to drop out.
Well, his name's still going to show up on the ballot, though.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but so one of the other candidates is finding ways to get us off the ballot or get people not to vote for us. So he helped push to get that guy off the ballot.
Wow. Okay, so when does the election actually take place?
So the election day is May 1st. Early voting is April 19th.
So that gives you, 2 weeks of early voting? Why is Arlington so racist? Why Why do you only have 2 weeks of early voting?
Should be a minimum of what?
20 weeks.
20 weeks.
Yeah.
Work on that if you're mayor. 20 weeks of early voting. My goodness.
How do people respond to your candidacy, and especially being African American? How do they respond to you being so conservative? Because a lot of times conservative black people just get a ration of crap wherever they go, whatever they do. Have you found that to be the case, or have people been all right with it?
Actually, I was actually surprised. There's more people that are okay with it now, even people on the left, because we have more in common. I guess I can have a conversation with people where we see we have more in common than they think we do. Mm-hmm. And they are excited for me to run. And especially to like, oh my gosh, you're a young black woman who's running and you're conservative. Like, well, why are you conservative? And I explain to them why I'm conservative. And I think that they have the wrong idea what a conservative is based on the media. And they're more conservative than they think. And so there's so many people who are excited. I'm now going to the gas station and people are like, Doni? I'm like, yeah. They go, nice. You have my support. I'm voting for you. I'm like, well, how did you find out? Someone told me. And so
that's good. Great.
That's amazing. The relationship is different than a yard sign because someone they trust told them about me. And so it's been really exciting.
What's the biggest issue facing Arlington right now?
Right now, the biggest issue is the establishment owns the city and not the people. And I want the people to have the power back and to have the rights back in that city.
And what are your feelings about the reality of the masks and vaccines? Where do you stand on all that stuff? For instance, if you were mayor right now, or if you were mayor of Arlington a year ago, would you have ordered people to wear masks?
No.
No.
Actually, our current mayor, Jeff Williams, actually wrote to Greg Abbott with, Austin mayors, Dallas mayors to mandate those masks.
Oh. Really?
Yes, and he's supposed to be Republican.
Wow.
Is he running for re-election right now?
No, since we have term limits, he now can't run again. That's why he actually endorsed a man named Jim Ross. He has a lot of money, a lot of backing. You'll probably see his signs if you drive through Arlington. You may see his ads everywhere. But Jim Ross, he's establishment. He's been trying to bully everyone off the ballot. He's told a few lies about myself. And
Really?
So I've been targeted by him. But you know what? He always has to say, I'm the old white guy on the ticket. There's 5 black people running. Why do you have to keep saying that?
It's a good question.
Yeah, and another issue is that people are going to think he's conservative. He's not conservative, actually. He used to be Marine, and he was a cop. So with those different talking points, since it's a nonpartisan race, people will assume he's conservative.
Oh, Arlington's race is nonpartisan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other 4 blacks, are they? Do you know if they're conservative or are they liberal?
I know one of them is conservative.
Okay. Wow, it sounds like an interesting race. What do you think the future holds for Arlington?
I feel that the people actually vote the correct way and actually vote for someone who's actually going to look out for them, because I'm the only person actually talking about doing things for them, deregulating for businesses and residents. I'm wanting to do actual real public health and safety, actually have a better relationship with the police departments. We're more so focused on crime and not petty tickets to raise money for the city. So if they go the route where they actually are paying and spending more money for stuff in the entertainment industry, they're going to be left behind again. You don't just necessarily go after the person you see in all the billboards. Really look into us. But I'm the only person that's running right now that's been talking about the Constitution. Actually, I think I'm the only person who even said Constitution.
Probably.
Since I've been running. So people don't think the Constitution matters for some reason at the local level, but I don't understand. Like, if you're being mandated to wear seatbelts, I mean, that's infringing on your rights right there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
I want to move to Arlington to vote for
kidding. If people want to get involved, how do they do so?
You can go to DoniForMayor.com, DoniForMayor.com.
Oh.
And I am Doni for Mayor on Twitter, and Doni the Don on Twitter and Gab. Those are the best ways to find me, and Doni for Mayor on Facebook.
Wow.
There's volunteer tabs on there that you can sign up and volunteer. And money is very important still, even though the race is almost over. So donate if you can.
Especially when you're running against a rich white guy.
Yeah.
You're going to need some money so that you can get platform out there. Do you have some policy positions on your website, and does it outline all of that?
Oh yes, actually, okay. I probably have the most detailed one on my website, and I have videos to explain them on each one of them as well.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you. For no other reason, people should vote for you. Because you didn't do Doni for mayor and use the number 4. You actually spelled out FOR, which I personally appreciate because I can't stand replacing words with numbers. So.
Oh, yeah. I was an English major.
So that's Doni, D-O-N-I, for mayor.com.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thanks. Good luck, Doni.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Keep
All
us
right.
Updated.
888-933-93. Let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. It's who you need if you are looking to sell your home, or if you're looking to buy a home. Maybe you're doing both because you're relocating to a new area, either somewhere within your city or your region, or clear across the country.
Maybe you want to move
to
Arlington so you can vote for Doni.
That would be a good thing as well. Real estate agents I trust. These are the people who can advise you on all of these things. Are you going to get the money out? Is it going to be worth it to make some repairs or renovations to your house? Will it work for you in the long run? Will you get the money out of your investment? These are the people who know those kinds of things and can advise you on which way to turn. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really kind of says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Unleashed.
Cher.
Oh no, what?
Shared some brilliant thoughts with us, as she is wont to do. If there are no Democrats to protect America, the GOP will achieve their dream of white supremacy. That's her thought right now. So it's pretty good.
That is good, right?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Right.
She knows what she's talking about, doesn't she?
Yeah. Their dream of white supremacy, which, as we've learned, if you want your kids to attend school, that's white supremacy.
White supremacy.
So the GOP's dreams of having kids go to school.
It's white supremacy.
Is what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you a white supremacist? Why? What was the infrastructure? Isn't infrastructure white supremacy, or the lack of infrastructure is white supremacy? Or
I don't know. I just know roads are racist.
Yeah, of course.
Physically.
So are some cities. I mean, you say the word Chicago, and wow, you're just showing your...
Them's fighting words.
Yeah, you're just showing your whiteness right there. So Cher believes Democrats are the only thing standing in the way of the GOP getting back to their dream of white supremacy, and them bringing back Jim Crow, which they're trying to do, according to her. Voter suppression, she began, 2 words that define immoral Republican Pauls, like politicians. They bring Jim Crow back, wrap themselves in the and have gone to...
Why does she abbreviate everything?
The hell?
I mean, you got plenty of characters to make it work, lady. Come on.
Is she trying to say wrap themselves in the flag, maybe?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
They've gone to whites only, black, ethnic, and
this
poor
is more than
Dems
2 words. I was promised 2 words.
Voting and winning. Yeah, that's way more than 2 words.
Let's see if I can find this.
It's fascinating that her deal is Democrats are the ones standing in the way of Republicans achieving, their goals of being racists and white supremacy and all that stuff. Fascinating when it's always been Democrats who are the ones fighting for racial inequality. It is Democrats who kept slavery going. It is Democrats who broke up the Union because of it. It's Democrats who started Jim Crow. It's Democrats who had poll charges for black people, who wouldn't allow them to vote. It's Democrats who started the KKK. Democrats every single step of the way. It was a Democrat in office. Woodrow Wilson, who put ethnic minorities behind fencing. It was FDR who did it again on an even greater scale to Japanese Americans. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of Democrat racism. The Civil Rights Bill was opposed by Democrats. Republicans pushed it year after year. It was voted down by Democrats year after year, including Al Gore's father and including Lyndon Johnson, who in the 50s was radically against civil rights and then all of a sudden saw the light. And he was all about it. And now he gets credit for it. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Just a couple examples. Democrat Party platforms of 1840. Who came up with this list?
Breitbart.com.
Breitbart, okay. So, Democrat Party platforms of 1840, 1844, 1848, 52, and 56 stated, quote, that all efforts of the abolitionists or others made to induce Congress to interfere with questions of slavery and calculated to lead to the most alarming and dangerous consequences, and that all such efforts have an inevitable tendency to diminish the happiness of the people and endanger the stability and permanency of the Union, and ought not to be countenanced by any friend of our political institutions. The Democratic Party platform of 1856 declared that the new states to the Union should be admitted with or without domestic slavery. The party platform of 1856 declared that we recognize the right of the people of all the territories to form a constitution with or without domestic slavery. With or without. So that's fascinating that they were fine if you were a state and wanted to become a slave state. The platform of 1860, in seeking to uphold the fugitive slave law of 1850 that required law enforcement officials to arrest any individual suspected of being a runaway slave. No Democrat in Congress supported the 14th Amendment. No Democrat in Congress supported the 14th Amendment, which gave full citizenship to freed slaves.
Wow.
It passed in 1868 with 94% Republican support and 0 from the Democrats. That's 0 support. No Democrat in Congress supported the 15th Amendment, which gave free slaves the right to vote. It passed in 1870 with 100% Republican support and, once again, 0% support from the Democrats.
What was I saying earlier in the show today? I talked about the most shocking things in American history are people falling for the global warming stuff, people doing this COVID dance and whatever governments want them to do, and how the Democrat Party has somehow made their African-American voter base off of this history.
Yeah.
This clear history. I mean, you're in the 1800s. This goes on well into the 1900s, even to today with the things that the President of the United States says about minorities.
Yep.
Unreal.
Various state Democratic Party officials enacted policies to disenfranchise and systematically suppress the right of blacks to vote. Resolution specifically cites the 1902 Constitution of the state of Virginia that disenfranchised about 90% of the black voters. The administration of Woodrow Wilson, who was, of course, a Democrat, began a racial segregation policy for all U.S. government employees and the military. He resegregated the military. When the Democratic Party held its national convention in 1924 in New York City at Madison Square Garden, the event was commonly referred to as the Klan Bake due to the influence of the Ku Klux Klan in the party. Not the Republican Party, the Democrat Party. Senate Democrats held a 75 calendar day filibuster against the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 64. Democrats, 75-day filibuster. That's how committed they were to not giving civil rights to blacks. Former Senator Robert Byrd, we didn't mention this a few minutes ago, a known recruiter for the KKK, led the Democrats to oppose civil rights for African Americans. Democrats enacted and enforced Jim Crow laws, as we mentioned earlier. In June, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ordered the removal of the portraits of 4 previous speakers of the House who served in the Confederacy, stating that these portraits set back our nation's work to confront and combat bigotry. However, Gohmert's resolution notes that the Speaker the speakers that Pelosi removed, Robert M.T. Hunter, Howell Cobb, James Orr, and Charles Crisp, were all Democrats. That's so great. That is so great. Yeah, so she took down the Confederate speakers of the House, each of them a Democrat. Of course, because that's who was behind slavery at the time. I mean, but it's Republicans who were so racist, right? It's only Democrats standing between complete Jim Crow and freedom. So, unbelievable. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. I honestly don't know how they've gotten away with this so completely for so long with minorities. But I think, as we were talking about with Doni a few minutes ago, I think we've started to make some inroads with minorities in that, what has the Democrat Party ever done for you? Seriously, name one thing that the Democrats have done for blacks that is positive, that has brought about positive change for them. You can't name anything. And all they do is throw out things like, the American highway system has racism physically built into it.
And whenever you look back and find a legitimate gripe about the history of race relations in this country, and you follow that route, it always leads you back to the Democrat Party. Isn't that interesting?
Every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah. But not any more than every single time.
Well, right.
You know.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not good with math. So that's a lot, though, right? If it's every single time?
It is a lot. Okay. All right. Let's finish off the show on a happy note.
Oh.
The Flex Seal guy is back.
Oh, wait. I don't think we have time for this.
Are we?
How long is this?
We don't have to play the whole thing, right?
Okay.
All right. Let's see what kind of product we're dealing with now for Flex Seal.
Oh, he's been to Chernobyl. He's a giant now, apparently.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Look at how stupid this is.
Hi, Phil Swift here. When you need maximum coverage and sealing power, take it to the max. With FlexBack.
Oh.
Your favorite Flex Seal products are now giant size.
Giant size.
And so is he.
Right.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy, look at that.
Don't worry, guys. Flex Tape Max is the super strong waterproof tape.
Wait, I'm more worried about the giant.
Instantly stop giant.
And the leak. What?
Wow. Looks like you got a lot of work to do.
Does
look
like that.
Liquid Max, you can cover huge areas for a strong waterproof seal.
Waterproof.
Coverage.
Oh, he's gonna Flex Seal the Hoover Dam.
Oh no!
Flex Paste Max is a thick rubberized paste that fills massive cracks and holes.
All right. Maybe we'll play the whole thing tomorrow, because that is
embarrassing.
Some fun right there.
Oh, I mean fun.
Yeah, fun.
I saw this boat in half.
And it's even better now. Now he's a giant, and he Flex Sealed the Hoover Dam. Well, that'd save us a lot of money, I think. Yeah. Anybody called the Army Corps of Engineers? Let them know.
All right.
We ever have a leak in the Hoover Dam?
Call the giant.
Little Flex Seal. That's all you need.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.